Are you someone who is concerned about your FICO credit score? Maybe your score is good, but you have a desire to increase it, inching your way closer to that 850 point mark. Or even yet, maybe you feel like your score is in a downward spiral and needs much improvement. Before you can raise your FICO score, it is important that you understand the factors of how it is broken down. Once you understand the breakdown, you will have a better understanding of what you can do to make the necessary improvements. In this video, I will cover the purpose of the FICO score, the 5 parts of the FICO score, and the FICO score ranges. FICO is the organization that stands for Fair Isaac Corporation. According to Investopedia, a lender uses a borrower's FICO score along with other details on the borrower's credit report to assess credit risk and determine whether to extend credit. In other words, FICO concerns an individual's credit worthiness. The factors that break down the parts of the FICO score include payment history, credit utilization, length of credit history, credit mix, and new credit. Your payment history is the largest portion of a FICO score, which encompasses 35% of the total score and is the most influential factor affecting score calculations. Paying your bills on time is crucial. Banks are not going to lend to people who cannot pay their bills in a timely manner. By law, creditors will not report a late payment to the credit bureaus until it's 31 days past due, which gives you a 30-day grace period. If you have a high score and you had no late payments until recently, your credit score will drastically drop. If your credit is poor and you make a late payment, it may not affect you as much because your score is already low. Credit utilization is the second largest portion of a FICO score and comprises of 30% of the total score and is the second most influential factor affecting credit score calculations. For example, if you have a credit card with a $1,000 credit limit and a balance of $500, then your credit utilization is 50%, which is high. Lenders like to see a credit utilization ratio of under 30%. Therefore, using the $1,000 credit limit example, a balance of $290 would give you a 29% credit utilization ratio. However, keep in mind that the lower the utilization, the better your credit score will be. The length of credit history is the third largest portion of a FICO score. It consists of 15% of the total score and is the third most influential factor affecting score calculations. According to NerdWallet, the credit scoring algorithms calculate the average of how long all your accounts have been open. The average age of accounts is your credit age. For example, if you had one credit card for 10 years, then your credit history would be 10 years if that card is still active. If an additional credit card was added, then the length of your credit history will decrease. Each additional credit card that is added will continue to decrease the length of your credit history. It is important to note that closing a credit account may not be the wisest idea, especially if the account is older. Credit mix is the fourth factor and consists of 10% of the total FICO score. A credit mix is composed of different types of credit accounts that exist in an individual's credit file. Credit files that only have one type of credit, such as credit cards, does not show a diversified blend of credit types. An example of someone who has a diversified blend of credit types would be an individual who has a credit card, car loan, personal loan, and a mortgage. Although you do not need every type of credit to increase your FICO score, it helps to have more than one type. New credit is the fifth factor, and like credit mix, it also consists of 10% of the total FICO score. When applying for credit, you will be hit with one of two types of inquiries. The first is a hard inquiry, which is also known as a hard pull, and the second is a soft inquiry, which is known as a soft pull. Hard inquiries affect your score and stay on your credit report for about 2 years, whereas a soft pull may show on your credit report but will not affect your score. An example of a soft pull would be a potential employer pulling your score for the reason of employment. An example of a hard pull would be applying for an auto loan or a personal loan. FICO scores range from 300 to 850. The closer you are to 850, the better your score will be and the better the chance you will have at securing credit. In contrast, the closer you are to 300, the less likely your chance will be at securing credit. There are 5 credit score ranges which will now be explained. Credit score ranges include very poor, fair, good, very good, and exceptional. Very poor ranges from 300 to 579 and accounts for 16% of the people. The impact is that credit applicants may be required to pay a fee or deposit, and applicants with this rating may not be approved for credit at all. Fair ranges from 580 to 669 and accounts for 17% of the people. Applicants with scores in this range are considered to be subprime borrowers. Good ranges from 670 to 739 and accounts for 21% of the people. Only 8% of applicants in this score range are likely to become seriously delinquent in the future. Very good ranges from 740 to 799 and accounts for 25% of the people. Applicants with scores in this range are likely to receive better than average rates from lenders. Exceptional ranges from 800 to 850 and accounts for 21% of the people. Applicants with scores in this range are at the top of the list for the best rates from lenders. Let's use an example of how the FICO score system works using my 2 friends, Jake and Carol. Recently, both Jake and Carol applied for home mortgages with homes with an ocean view. Jake has been responsible and has made it a habit of paying his debts on time. Carol, on the other hand, has missed several payments within the same time frame, which has affected her payment history. Jake has one credit card with a $1,000 limit and a balance of $100, which puts his credit utilization at 10%. Carol also has one credit card with a $1,000 credit line, but the difference is that she has an $800 balance, which puts her credit utilization at 80%. Jake has 10 years worth of credit history, whereas Carol has 2 years worth of credit history. Jake has had several types of credit throughout his adult life, which include credit cards, a car loan, and a personal loan. Carol has only had credit cards, so she lacks an assortment of credit types. Prior to applying for a mortgage, Jake had no hard inquiries on his credit report, whereas Carol had 5 hard inquiries within the last 2 years. Due to Jake's stellar payment history, low credit utilization, long credit history, an assortment of various types of credit, and no hard inquiries, he has a FICO score of 800, which places him in the exceptional range. Carol, on the other hand, has a subpar payment history, high credit utilization, short credit history, only one type of credit, and 5 hard inquiries. She has a FICO score of 450, which places her in the very poor range. In the end, Jake's FICO score will almost certainly get him the best interest rate available, and as long as the other factors are met when applying for a mortgage, which will be explained in a future video, he is on his way to home ownership. Who knows, maybe one day Jake will be able to afford a plane. Carol would not qualify for a mortgage due to her very poor FICO score and substandard credit report, which ultimately make her a credit risk. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button so that you can receive the future content that will build your financial muscle.